Hello, Superior YMCA. I am Jen, your Health and Wellness Director, and I am here with Jill and Ashley. How are we doing today, guys?
Good.
Good.
Good. Hope you guys are doing good at home as well. We are here with another wellness talk for you today. We're going to go back to kind of where we started about motivation and accountability. We're going on month 2 for us being home. So we thought we would kind of wrap around and just see how everybody's been doing with that motivation and accountability, maybe share some new ideas, how that's all going for everybody. So ladies, how's it been going for you? Month 2.
It needs to end.
Yes.
It needs to end. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been rough. I started out with intentions of getting a lot of stuff done and doing a lot of stuff, and I've maybe done like 3 things out of like 15 because
Progress.
I think I was a little too ambitious planning out my days, but now I think it's getting a little better. I'm getting used to it being home. But of course, once I get used to it, they're going to be like, yeah, we can go back to work. So I'll just start it all over again. But
Yes.
I have been able to work out 5 days a week on my own without doing like videos either. So
That's really good.
I've been sticking with that. I still snack and run. Not gonna lie, that part's been a struggle. But other than that, it's been going okay. Haven't ripped out my hair yet or shaved it off. So that's a
Progress again.
good sign.
How about you, Ashley?
Motivation's definitely been lacking the last week or so. Trying to get into that new routine, and then I don't know, not really finding that motivation to get up and get things done, and then kind of letting the rest of the day go by. So just trying to figure out a better, maybe more realistic schedule with being home, and yeah, just trying to set priorities and intentions and follow through with them, and not like be good for like a little bit and then kind of drop off, and then just trying to come back around on that. It's kind of where I'm at, but yeah, still going for walks, which has been good. So one thing, it's been nice getting outside even with some of the crazy weather days.
Very true.
But yeah, and I think like been more intentional. Like haven't been buying as much like food or snacks, because I know like for me, like if it's just accessible and available, that's like what you tend to grab for, versus like I enjoy cooking and baking and things like that. So taking the time to do that, and then you're spending more time doing that than just like being a consumer of whatever's in the cabinet. So yeah, doing so.
So yes, month 2 is kind of a tough realization that you've been home for one whole month already. Today for us 3, we were able to work a little bit longer than some, but so I know some of you are going on maybe week 5, maybe week 6 at this point. So for me, like my realization was that being home, I was eating more than when I was at work. And the bits of workouts that I was doing at home weren't enough compared to what I was doing at work. So over the last month, I've still been pretty active with what we've been able to do for our videos, because we've still been working out almost every day doing something like this. But noticing that it still wasn't enough and I was getting a little fluffy. Everybody kind of that feeling where you don't feel like you've gained a ton of weight, but you just feel a little fluffy in the stomach, and pants don't fit quite the same. That's why I was wearing my jeans. If you remember back, they were like my accountability pants. Those are still in my, I've worn them, but they, stretchy jeans don't really tell you too much. But So now for me, knowing that we potentially have a whole nother month of this, like I can't keep doing what I was doing. So I'm trying to be more motivated. I spent the last weekend here really like trying to get my to-do list ready to go and being a little bit more strict on myself. So like adding in my own personal workouts like you've been doing, Jill, on addition to the stuff we're doing together. I've done that for 2 days straight now, which is good to start the routine. And I've been like logging things down and journaling a little bit more, which was my goal to do 4 weeks ago to start that. And now it's finally like, okay, I just need to do this because I need to kind of get back on track. So I actually feel like more motivated going into like the second month here, just because I have a plan and I feel more, okay, we know what to expect. We know what to expect with like work, what we're doing here. And now I can just like add and plug into that. Plus I've been feeling really productive around my house, which is nice. Really doing a lot of deep cleaning and redecorating and doing some projects outside, which has always been kind of nice to do that too. So I feel pretty motivated. I don't want this to like go on for much longer because, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be through this next, I mean, we have that stay-at-home order through the 26th. So unless they call it off and they allow us to go back earlier, that's one thing. But so now if we've noticed that our routines have been slacking, which could be some of the case for some of you guys at home that started off like super motivated. The stress of work, I think, could have potentially got to the three of us pretty hard during those first couple weeks of this happening, of still being able to work, but then getting moved to home and how that's going to work. I know I was very preoccupied. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't really thinking about my own personal workout. I was thinking about how is this going to be feasibly possible. But now that this has become like a pretty well-oiled machine, we have our routines down pretty well, and working out at home, I think is for me is still a struggle. But I think we're starting to get our work life, and now I feel like we can add in some extra things too. So how do you guys kind of think about that? Are you feeling like what we're doing for work is getting a little bit more easier because we know what to expect?
Yeah.
It's hard to stay motivated now, but like, do you feel like it's kind of getting, this is our new normal a little bit, which is really sad to say, but.
Yeah. Now that we have like a game plan and we know what we're doing, what to do when, like it's been pretty smooth. Like come here at 9, chit chat, and then we do a talk or a video, and I like it because I'm like, I know what's happening.
That's good.
I know what workouts to expect, so I don't work out before them. Made that mistake.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's sad that this is our, kind of new normal, but it's nice. It's nice getting used to it now, but then obviously when we get back, it's going to be a whole different story of getting back to that new normal. So I'm just enjoying this right now while I can before all chaos like breaks loose when we go back, because I feel like that's going to be everywhere when places start opening back up. Everything is just going to be chaos. So trying to prepare for that.
Yeah, trying to find that balance of like living in the present and being, like this is what we know we're doing now and we have a plan and that's awesome. But then I think it's hard, especially when we're not necessarily super content with our current situation, that we want to look forward to, what going back to work and back to a lot of more normal things looks like. But at the same time, like not ignoring where we are right now and being like, oh, well, it's just another month and then I'll be back to the gym or back to work or back to whatever, and kind of just letting this next few weeks just kind of float by instead of being, more intentional with it, I think, at least.
Yeah, the lists seem to really help me. I will say like on a on a views kind of standpoint for some of our videos, I have noticed a slight decline as we've been away from the Y longer. We still have amazing views. We still have a lot of people texting us every day that they like the classes, that they're still staying motivated, thanking us for what we're doing. So we really appreciate that. But I do kind of slowly see like that motivation when the gym first got shut down, because you're like, oh my God, like I need to keep my routine. And everyone was like 120%. And then we realized like, well, I'm going to do some house projects. And then you might be consumed with that. You get out of the routine of maybe working out. And then slowly it starts to get put on that back burner a little bit, I think, because we don't know how long this is going to last here. And so, not saying that you have to work out, like first thing every day, that has to be like your top list priority, but trying to do something active. And if it's not the videos, that's still okay. If it's going out to go for a walk, if it's playing with your kids outside, if it's going walking the beach or going on a trail, like all that stuff is really good. So we're just happy that people are staying active. But I think the accountability side is just to like really schedule it into your life still. Because as we get busy and preoccupied, it's so easy to sit on the couch. And if you've done it for one day, then the second day it's even easier to not move from the couch. So I guess today we just wanted to check in and just see how everybody's doing and let you know that like we're human too, like we're struggling over here. And I know a lot of people say to me too sometimes when I'm sore, or if I ever am having a rough day at the gym and I don't have as much motivation, they're like, you are human. Yes, we are human. We're not workout machines, any of our instructors. We have the same struggles that you guys do, go through the same contemplation stages, everything. We just kind of try to fight through it the best we can. So we want you to know that we do relate with you, that it is a tough time for all of us. And if there's anything additional that we can do to help you, that's why we're here. So we're going to kind of just take a little session here between the three of us and kind of brainstorm of what are some other ways that we can continue to get active now, or just stay accountable, stay moving with your family, your friends, yourself over now like the next like 4 weeks, since we've already hit that kind of landmark 4 week in. We got another 4 weeks to go. So like, Ashley, what are you going to try to keep doing if you notice right now that you kind of feel like you're, kind of in a little bit of a, plateau for motivation and stuff? What are you going to do to amp it up for the rest of the week and moving forward?
I think my main goal is just to get up when I want to get up, and not because like I've said in a couple of other videos, I haven't been sleeping super well, and that's mostly due to the fact that someone is kicking my ribs. But like not because I'm not getting more sleep by laying in bed. Like I just am so tired that I don't want to get up. And I think for me, I need to just be more intentional with like, okay, even though I don't feel super awake and want to get up, me laying here for another hour isn't going to do any good either, because I know that I'm not going to fall back asleep. I'm very much like a light person. So once it's light outside and I wake up, I can't really go back to sleep. So I think that's kind of my main goal for the rest of this weekend. I have to get up to go to the doctor tomorrow anyway. So that'll start, and then I'll just try to keep going with that for the rest of this week.
Same, I feel you there. Even though like I still wake up with Corey when he goes to work, but I've been hitting that snooze just like one too many times. We're both waking up super late, and then I feel bad because then Corey's rushing out the door to get to work. And so trying to be like a little more consistent with getting up and that, because I feel like that really sets my tone for the morning. If I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I got up and have plenty of time to, make my breakfast, get his lunch and whatnot, other stuff, let Finn out, that, and I gotta continue with my walks. I gotta do that. I need to get out and walk and just not be in the house. Because then I just sit there and stare at like, what can I do? Oh, I could do this or this and this and this and this, and then I don't do any of it. That's my problem, is I have such good intentions, but then I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Just don't do it. So, but getting outside and walking my dog, I swear if I didn't have a dog, I would not be going outside and going for walks and playing fetch or anything like that. So happy I have him.
Mhm. I think that getting up early is like huge. Justin works until 6 a.m. and so I have to go and I unlock the door for him to come in. So um, he has a key. Don't worry, guys. I don't lock him out. Everyone's like, doesn't he have a key? He does.
He
I
lives there.
on my back door. So I mean that's really good for me too. Like he'll text me when he's leaving work, and I set my alarm to get up like at 5:45. But I'm a snoozer too, so I hit the snooze button a couple times. He'll text, then I get up, hit the bathroom quick, and then go down and unlock the door, and then I make my coffee and my breakfast, and then I'm awake. Him and I can kind of chat for a little bit, and my goal has been, to get up and just start moving right away. And that's been helpful. I mean, to do it 2 days in a row, it's good. I don't want to be an overachiever and like plan to get up at 5 a.m. when you really don't need to. Like, I know I was doing that for the gym, but like be realistic and like letting yourself sleep in just a little bit. Getting up and moving is huge. My bedroom's upstairs. I have to come downstairs. I think coming downstairs and staying down here for a little bit helps wake you up. But for me, just like scheduling it and being really on my to-do lists are huge. So like I say wake up at 6 a.m. and I like can cross off my list and I feel like so accomplished that I woke up at 6. But those little things like really help. And I know Julie mentioned like all the things that you could do. Like when I was home for the first week, I made a big long to-do list of all the projects I wanted to do in the next few weeks. And I've probably completed all those things and added probably like 20 more, but then completed some of those. Like I crossed off like 4 things yesterday off my list, but added like 6 more, which makes no sense. I get that. But then you start thinking of other projects within those things to get completed, or maybe you didn't finish it 100%. But that's really helped me stay accountable and just motivated to say like, I want this to-do list done before I go back to work. Like I just need this done. So that's kind of helps me out. And my workouts now are on that list. Otherwise I wouldn't do them. So my body was used to working out for, at least 3 hours a day. And now I've done like a 30-minute Pilates video or like, you know what I mean? And then now I'm actually eating 3, maybe 5 meals a day. It's still healthy food, but it's more than what I was eating. And so like, the ratio wasn't there. And so I think it's been now too, like knowing that we got to continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Is going back to the gym and not looking like quarantine got to me. And one of my friends had said to me, like, I don't know where she read it or heard it, but like on average through this time, people are going to gain like 15 pounds. And like, that's a lot. So I think for me, like I've probably, gained maybe 3 to 5, maybe, I don't know. I haven't weighed myself because I'm afraid to. I'm just going by how my body feels and just getting into that routine again. But that's a lot of work to lose 15 pounds. So for those of you at home that are like that number and that fear is always there for me. Like you don't want to like lose everything that you gained, or when I go back and teach my first class, I don't want to be like stuck in air and like can't maintain, or my first spin class, like I throw up, or something like that. So that kind of is my motivation too. Cause like when we all go back to work as instructors, like you want to be able to walk right in and not feel like it affected you. Cause we're kind of like, we feel like we're, you guys rely on us a lot for that motivation and that accountability and inspiration too, even though like you guys don't realize being members and participants, like you do that for us. Like you're our motivation and our inspiration and drive to keep doing what we're doing. So I think that that's part of my thing too. You want to walk in and pretend like the last 2 months didn't even happen, and you can still do 60 seconds of burpees without like having to take a break, which sucks. I can't do them now. But I will say like my push-ups have gotten better. I've challenged myself to do only push-ups on my toes. But when you only do them like twice a week, yeah, I can do a lot on my toes. So small victories there. What are some other things here over the next like month people can do to kind of help with that accountability, like by setting a goal? Like, you know, Jill, you've been working out 5 days a week. You want to get outside and always go for your walks. Do you like set like step goals throughout your day to kind of help you like stay motivated to get outside and go for your puppy?
No, he just gives me a look and he'll go over to his leash and like look at his leash, look at me. So I'm like, oh, fine. So that's
Guilt
keeps
trip.
me motivated. He'll go over there, nudge it, look at me like, let's go. So I'll take him there. But I usually, like, I'm kind of like you, I got to have my list, and usually my workout is on that list. And if I see that I don't cross it off, I'm kind of like, you know, that just a little bit disappointed in myself. Like, it was on my list, I didn't get to it. But I had to like shift my workout like around, because when we first started quarantine, I was doing it like right at 6:30. It was going good, but it kind of just, I felt rushed because then I would do my workout and I would come here and meet with you guys. So it felt super rushed. My mornings were like kind of jam packed. So I had kind of shifted it around and it's been going good. And yeah, just keeping, I like one motivation thing for me. I try to get my watch to be like all blue. Like I want to meet all of my goals on my watch for like steps and stairs and miles and calories burned. So that's kind of been my goal, because I don't know, I'm running out of things to do, goals to set. Like I have my long-term goal for, you know, not getting that quarantine 15, you know, but what are you going to do? But I think that does keep me motivated, because I have worked really hard to, you know, lose the weight I have. So I'm like, I'm determined not to gain it back, because I don't want just these 2 months to go down the drain after I spent like, you know, 5 years working really hard. So that's what kind of keeps me motivated. And another thing is, I just kind of, if I didn't get to one thing last week or yesterday, if I didn't do something, I'm not going to dwell on it, because I'm like, oh, I didn't get it that day and I didn't get it that day. And I'm like, no, whatever. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'll do it today or I'll do it tomorrow. So it's been a lot of like kind of personal things and like doing a lot of meditation and yoga and just getting my mindset right, because this can take a toll on not only myself, but all like other people are probably going through the same thing. So I know one thing, I need to keep my mental health in check above all else before I, you know, get into like my workout and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's kind of keeping me motivated, I guess.
How about you, Ashley? Like, I know we've talked in the past too about like when we are training for something and we have those goals, it's way easier to stay motivated because you're seeing these landmarks.
Right.
At home, we're not actually like training for really anything necessarily, but are there anything that you're doing at home to kind of keep that drive and achieving certain goals too?
I mean, I think like the biggest thing for me right now is like making sure that I am in shape for labor, which I don't really know what that means because I've never done it before. But I think just like overall being like partially motivated, like I know a lot of people are motivated like by their kids, and so like I think that is for me starting to become more of a real like motivation, because it's like I want to set a good example and like, you know, be active like right away after like birth, which I know like sometimes is not necessarily you're not necessarily able to physically do it right away, but having that intention of like not letting it become this like, I don't know, big thing where it's like, oh well, you can't do as much, so you're just like not gonna do it. Or it's like, oh well, you went through that like experience, so now you can just like take time off for a while. Like just being consistent, I think, with whatever kind of workouts I am able to do, and not putting so much stress on like, you know, maybe the weights that I'm able to do, or the amount of cardio that I'm able to do, but just the fact of like moving and being active and doing what my body allows me to do, and not being like, oh, I can't do this, so I'm just not going to do anything kind of mentality. So kind of shifting focus for me a little bit there. But I think also too, kind of with like getting up early and just trying to stay active throughout the day, I think is huge. Because I'm not used to like working on the computer for so long, and other things where it's like, yeah, you don't even really like think about the steps you get or the movement you get from like your daily activities, like going, to the store, or going, I don't know, even like walking places, like just kind of those little things where it's like, well, now you're kind of stuck not stuck inside, but a lot of the stuff we do is now, in one space. We're not really having to get up and go anywhere. And my house isn't that big for me to get enough steps in. So, yeah, I think just kind of like what Jill said too, though, and in setting those goals, just having some grace for yourself in that too, because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, like yesterday I didn't do this or that, or I didn't, like I have the ring things on my watch too, and it's like, oh, well, I didn't close this one today, or I didn't stand for enough hours today, or I didn't, meet my like calorie goal or whatever. And just knowing that like the next day is a new opportunity, and to not dwell on things you didn't accomplish, but just to continue, pushing forward, whatever that kind of looks like for each person, I think.
And I think too, like making different goals with, like, for me, especially like when we were teaching so many classes, like I could, maybe my first class, I could teach like, or do the push-ups off my toes, but after class 2, 3, 4 or whatever, like you can't, like it's just physically not possible. And then like Tuesday, you're shot from Monday. So my modification exercises, I could do maybe a lot of them in a row, but I couldn't do the full thing. So now like my challenge is to, anytime I put push-ups within my own personal workout, not necessarily on these videos, but in my own personal workout, my goal is to really work on my form and challenge my body to do that full range of motion. Which we are not able to really do at the gym because we're never fresh. And so like, I actually feel like my body can withstand a little bit more right now on my own. Like I'm lifting a little bit heavier weights just because of Ashley. If you guys keep watching our videos, I'm just going to keep going back to her and blaming her for that. But so that's been kind of nice because you challenge yourself differently when you're not instructing. Because like today I did a new exercise and I did it for like 30 seconds and I didn't like it. And the weight was too heavy and I was just like, yeah, no, I don't like that. But if I was in class, like I wouldn't do that. I would have picked a lighter weight. I would have modified it. And instead I challenged myself for at least the 30 seconds that I did it for, even though I didn't like it. But I think that that's kind of nice too. And if you're not normally like a yoga person, maybe challenge yourself to doing some different yoga poses. Maybe it's like your flexibility that you want to work on. Maybe you want to place the palms of your hands down to the floor in a forward fold. Like, I think all of those, like we think of training as, I'm going to go run a half, or I'm going to go run a 5K. So I'm going to do this couch to 5K training aspect, or I'm training for a bike race. But like, you can just train for life and really work on that flexibility and notice your improvements, which is going to keep you more motivated. And as you can do like 20 push-ups on your toes, you're going to be stoked to try to do it again the next day. Maybe it's a plank challenge. Maybe it's a wall sit challenge. Anything like that you can see some progress from, I think would be a good way to stay motivated too. That's what's kind of pushing me through right now, is trying some new things. I love yoga and I want to get better at yoga. I want to be able to do like handstands and do way better balance work. And so that's going to be kind of my focus moving into this next month. And two, Jilly mentioned the meditation, which I think is huge. I've been able to meditate every day in the last 5 days, which has been awesome. That was also on my to-do list to kind of get back into that self-care aspect. And I love those words like that, self-care. I know we've heard that a lot, but really in this time, like we have the time to actually schedule ourselves first, and really make yourself a priority and build in those good habits now, so that when we do go back to the gym, you keep the meditation habit, you keep the stretching habit, you keep the progress that you've made during this time, and making the best of it. I think that that's what's driving me now into this next month. I had a really rough week on week 3. I know I shared that a little bit. I feel kind of like a new little breath of fresh air here moving into this next month of being like, I am going to work really hard for myself. My house is almost completely cleaned. I have like 2 rooms I have to deep clean next. And I want to get outside and do some stuff out there. But for the most part, I'm really going to try to focus on me. That sounds really selfish, but you know what? It's about time that a lot of us, I know a lot of you out there too, it's about time that you get a little bit more selfish, and do some things for you. So that would be my advice here to stay motivated and accountable. Get selfish. Get selfish. Take care of yourself, whatever it is.
It's okay to be selfish.
Yes, exactly. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No.
Yeah. So again, don't forget to post in the comments, you guys, other ways that we can help you stay motivated. We know that you're struggling. We have bad days too. The good news is that we didn't have a really nasty spring where we had a ton of snow, so things could be way worse. We have sun, we have grass. Well, mine's brown, but we do have grass. You know, it's getting nicer outside. There is this light at the end of the tunnel. And to always be like that optimist, you know, like you just need to stay positive, spread that positivity. And if you know there's a friend that's having a rough time, or family, or anybody, just send them a text or call them, do something like that, or even ask someone to go for a walk, go for a hike, you know, do your little, you know, social distancing thing. I don't know if I 100% agree with all that stuff, but I'm supposed to. So take my advice, listen to what they tell you, but just be smart and take care of yourself, and then help others around you when you can. But this next month could be like the best month of opportunity to get that 6-pack that you wanted, to do those 50 push-ups in a row, to do that back bend or that handstand, whatever. Maybe I should say, like, when we get back to the gym, I'm going to be doing a handstand, and that'll be the first thing I do when I get into the Y, or I'll walk in that way. Who knows? I don't know if I want that picture. Whatever like helps you guys stay motivated, just keep doing it and let us know how we can help. And to let you know too, like, you guys motivate us. All those texts, all those emails, all the positive feedback that we hear every day keeps us coming back here with a smile on our face to help you guys, because you're helping us. And so we thank you very much for that interaction. And without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So it's a nice joint partnership, and we greatly appreciate you. So take care of yourself. Get selfish, make a goal, write it down, buy Post-it notes. It's an amazing thing. I love, yeah, you know, these things always end weird because I don't like to say goodbye. So it gets awkward, right, ladies?
Yeah.
I think they're about sick of me after 4 weeks like this. Ooh, when we see each other in person, we're not going to know what to do. We're going to want to be behind a screen. Anyway.
Is that really you?
Is that really you? I want to touch you.
Is it a human?
All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. Stay motivated and accountable this month. Make some goals for yourselves. Let us know how. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It only took me 6 weeks to memorize that, and I'll have to read it off a piece of paper. We love you guys. We hope to see you very soon here. Take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye.